We're talking about science today, people.
We sure are. We are talking about that science, that cool science, man.
Yeah. We're talking about science. I'm just kidding. I'm not finishing that last part. I forgot what the show that's from. Anyway, it's a late night, Thursday night live. You know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's John Boy. It's Dennison on the track. Um, Let me get this shared real quick.
Yep.
Uh,
Get it shared out.
I'm gonna tell y'all
Let the people
something.
know.
We're gonna have a serious discussion as we always do on this podcast, but that is not to take away from the fact that I'm gonna be eating chicken nuggets while we do this. So, um, late night, late food night. You know what I'm saying? Also, it's
Mm-hmm.
Friday Eve, as it is when we always do these live streams. But I hope you guys are enjoying. The week has gone well, and the week is nigh. So hopefully, it's enjoyable for all of you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, man. That honey mustard ready, you know. So
Yeah, man. You got to get that honey mustard going, bro.
had to, man. So here's what we're talking about this week, and you know, got to get it rolling for the audio people. Just give me 1 second. Actually, give me three.
3 seconds, man. Now you're asking too much.
Now we're rolling. Yeah, just like that. Felt like one, didn't it?
I know. It's crazy.
That's wild. Huh? So, all right. Here's what we're talking about. We're talking about scientific dishonesty, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what's interesting about this for me personally is I watched Oppenheimer and then I watched it again, right?
Mm.
And
Two
the second
times, man.
two times, hello, Captain. Good to see you. Thanks for jumping in on the live stream with us. Yeah, we think we got a good topic in store here. So, yeah, the second
Mm-hmm.
time I watched it with a friend, and I was thinking, at least how it was portrayed in the movies, there wasn't anyone um, that was overseeing this group of physicists, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
great movie. I definitely highly endorse it, so I would definitely recommend seeing it. But
Mm-hmm. If
uh,
you can see it in one of the few IMAX theaters that are in the country, that have the I forgot what the specific ratio it is, but it's
I don't
supposed to
remember.
be supposed to be like really like to see it in the perfect deal. It's supposed to be like in an IMAX theater, like a specific IMAX theater. So,
What did you think? Did you get to see it that way or no?
oh no, no,
Yeah, me neither. I
still
did.
looked great.
Right. I did see it in IMAX. But also I'm gonna deviate for a second because it reminds me, Dennison, did you see Mission Impossible yet?
I've not. I've
Man,
not
I
seen
swear to
Mission
God,
Impossible, man.
every movie suggestion I give Dennison, you know what he does? He's like, yeah, definitely. Doesn't see it. Oh man,
Hey man, I'm busy. I am busy, you know.
yeah, but not too busy to see Oppenheimer, which was a 3 hour movie. Anyway, I was giving you a hard time. Um, but it's 75 millimeter film is what Catherine's saying. So
Ah,
um,
okay.
that's it. But yes, really what I was saying with this is that no one was there to give oversight really for Oppenheimer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that's understandable, right? There was no one smarter on quantum research than him. You know what I mean? At
Mm.
the time. And so um yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I was just thinking about that. There's no oversight for these people who are dictating, not dictating, but just giving us explanations for why things happen, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is where today's topic comes in. Um, the Guardian, which I will say has a history of um, blowing things out of proportion.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will not say that's what they're doing on this one. I don't know. Uh, but, regardless of that, I still will take this for what it's worth. But they have reports of scientific misconduct with significant cases at Stanford and Harvard. Um, Stanford's president resigned after investigations highlighted issues in his research, but he didn't falsify any data. So that's
Mm-hmm.
different. Um, a guy in Harvard Business School faced accusations of falsifying research on, get this, honesty, right? Which is interesting.
That's
So, wait, what?
very interesting.
Right. And so our discussion tonight doesn't have to be about things on like the quantum level, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these things are stuff that you get in your news feed on a daily basis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a new study shows that apples are 80% more likely if eaten every day to keep the doctor away, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But that research could have been falsified.
Yeah, that's true.
Damn, someone's trying not to laugh more on that. It was funny. But yeah, so I think it's important that we can trust in these scientific institutions. And that's what makes this story so interesting. So
Mm-hmm.
I say we go ahead and slap right into it. I said slap that time.
You did
Not,
say slap,
not
man.
smack. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's run the intro. Three, two, one. What's going on, everybody? I'm John,
And I'm Dennison.
and this is the catch up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Whack. Let's whack
Whack.
right into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Whack right into it. That would actually be funny, dude. Whack is such
Mm-hmm.
an underrated word. It
Whack
always
is,
makes
man.
whack makes me laugh, dude. That
That and
uh
rad.
Brad makes you laugh?
Well, rad does make me laugh, and as well as it feels underrated to me, man.
Yeah.
I like rad. I don't know why, but I like rad. I think it sounds pretty dope.
I say rad all the time. I feel like moron and bozo are major underrated words, dude. If you
You
call somebody
bozo.
if you call somebody a bozo, they're not coming back from that, man.
That's true. You're not, man. You're not.
Like if you call somebody a moron, they're like you couldn't come up with anything better. But if you're like, what a bozo,
Mm-hmm.
it has so much connotation to it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god,
Exactly.
I love it. I gotta
This
work on
bozo over here.
yeah. Yeah, I usually forget just to tone it down and use bozo. So I need to work harder on using that word.
Yeah,
Oh
man.
man, yeah. Gets
Yeah, man. You
aggressive.
just got to expand your vocabulary into the bozos and the wackos and the
Morons.
morons,
Yeah.
man. You gotta expand.
Dude, I swear, if you ever called somebody you freaking bozo, they're done, bro. They're going
They
home.
are.
They're starting their car. They're calling a loved one just to check in. They're gonna probably get them some ice cream on the way home just to feel better, you know.
Mm-hmm. They got straight flamed right there, man. They got flamed, bro. They got flamed. It's almost as bad as it's almost as bad as man is calling someone. Oh,
Oh, Catherine says mine is deer and don't bite. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. That
Mm,
that is a good one. That is a really good one.
yeah. I usually go like I don't even know if I want to explain what I say. It's you know, bad words are allowed when I'm driving.
Hey man, sometimes you just get a little heated when you're in the car, especially if you're driving in Dallas, man. Like traffic, it makes you want to call everybody bozos, man.
Mhm. I know.
Hmm. And morons and clods.
But
You don't want to be called a clod, bro.
But see, like I made this argument, right? I almost find it depends on the situation, of course. I get that. But I find like stupid things in Wichita more egregious than in Dallas.
Really?
Because, like, for example, today I had to drive somewhere for work. I was heading back to my work location. And I'm coming up. There's like this on ramp that's going to swoop around and connect to another highway. And I'm coming up behind somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go over to pass them. I've been coming for a while. I'm going like a considerable amount faster than probably 5 to 7 miles an hour faster.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get up right beside them, and they just start coming over. And I just laying on the horn, right? And then they're like, "Whoa!" And they're driving like a late '90s van, you know. And I still, bro, like that kind of stuff is so stupid. There's no one else anywhere near us. Why'd you have to change lanes at that moment? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I lay on the horn and I shoot past them. It's like 15 seconds later, I was like, idiot. The moment had passed, but in my mind, it had not. And then after that, it was good. I didn't even think about it till just now. Oh, man. It's funny. Well, all right. Let's get back to the topic at hand
Mm-hmm.
and roll this here intro after I eat this nugget.
Get you some nugget goodness, bro.
Uh-huh.
With that honey mustard on there. Gotta do
Nothing
it,
better,
bro. Uh-huh. I don't know, man. I will say those are the Mickey D's chicken nuggets, which they look like they are, although they might be Wendy's chicken nuggets. Wendy's has got some really good barbecue sauce, man.
man. Oh, really?
Yeah, man. You gotta try
Dang.
their barbecue sauce as well as McDonald's. I actually they changed their recipe relatively recently, and I actually kind of dig the new Wendy's barbecue sauce. It's not bad.
For real. Dang. Look at us giving a
Hmm.
this is how much we eat fast food, man. Oh man, they changed the recipe. I
Yeah, they did, man. It's
feel
been a
that.
minute since they've changed it, but still though.
Well, I just remember I got ranch for my nuggets one time, and you're like, ranch?
Exactly.
Bro,
Ranch.
you know you gotta get that honey mustard. That's what you said. And now
I
I'm getting honey mustard. You're like, bro, you know you gotta get that barbecue sauce. I'm
Hey
like
man, you got to elevate your experience every time. Every time.
one step at a time.
Exactly.
I want that Wendy's twisted or whatever it was, secret sauce that they had to come back. Remember, I used to
Yeah.
go there and get their chicken tenders that they don't have anymore, and they
No,
had like a secret sauce, bro. That's oh,
there
so
was.
good.
I think I remember that, but soon the nuggets will probably be extinct, just like the sauce, or just like the tenders, man.
I don't want to hear
Wendy's
that.
is trying to jump into the burger joint,
They got
fully.
burgers. What are you
I
talking about?
know. No, I'm just saying, like, it feels like every time I go to find like nuggets at Wendy's, it's like smaller. It's like harder and harder to find. Like I have to read the fine print.
What are you talking about, bro? This is a number
Hmm.
4. This right here is a number 4, my guy.
Maybe it's because what I'm looking for. That might be what it is.
Yeah,
Because usually I'm looking for
could be regional too.
it could be. It could be because usually when I'm usually when I'm looking for nuggets, or I'm always looking for the 20-piece nuggets. That I feel like that's on the hidden menu, man, because you get the
Mhm.
20-piece nuggets for $5, man, which I don't think Mickey D's is doing anymore. So I think Wendy's is the only one who's doing 20 nuggets for $5, man.
Mhm.
So
And
word to the wise, go to
they
Wendy's.
slap you, bro. They
They
slap
do.
you.
They
Mhm.
do. Go to Wendy's. You get 20 nuggets for $5. And there's some good nuggets, man. Good sized nuggets.
There's some good clean nuggets in there,
They are.
man. All right, let's get back into this topic. We're gonna keep it
Mhm.
good, quick, and clean tonight. Here we go. 3. two, one. Before we get back into our topic tonight, I want to remind you guys the three best ways you can support this show. You gotta wait for the props. There's your three. There's introing the three. But number one, of course. Okay. I was confused as to what that was at first. Number one is you leave us a rating review. Let's let us know what you think of each episode and the show as a whole. Every rating and review helps us grow wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching, and subscribe if you like us as well. Number two, or trois, that's actually three, my bad. A wash. That thing was crisp. All right. So number two is if you're listening on the audio, thank you for making sure we got that. If you're listening on the audio, you're going to want to jump on the Facebook or the YouTube with us. We go live every single week. If you subscribe or give us a follow, you can jump on and join the discussion with us in real time. It's something that we've really enjoyed doing and love to get your feedback as we discuss. And number three, oh my gosh, a USB drive? That's a unique addition to this count. Number three, if you want to support us monetarily, because it does cost to put this show on, we have really good, solid, quality, clean merchandise at the link below, wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching. We got shirts, we got hats, we got long sleeves, hoodies. If you want to prepare for the winter really early, and we also have phone cases, mugs, and a little bit more, man. There you go. There's all three right there. So, all right, let's roll back into this discussion, man. Um, so as I said, those are just some examples of scientific negligence, I guess. So a
Mm-hmm.
watchdog website called Retraction Watch has reported on numerous instances of misconduct, knowing that most don't occur at institutions like Stanford or Harvard. Um, but retractions, as in you have to retract your statement and fix it, have surged from 40 in 2000 to 5,500 in 2022. That's a gigantic increase.
Yeah, it's a
What are these
very big jump.
what are these people doing? Playing Candy Crush while they're splitting atoms?
No, they're
Gee,
just making all the claims, man. All the claims.
yeah, yeah. You know what I think it did? I think it created a Pokemon in real life. But it's not true, actually.
My
Uh,
bad. It was a fever dream.
right. So, according to this article that we're referencing, that may actually be an underestimation of the actual amount of misconduct.
Hmm.
There could be more.
That's even worse.
So, I would think. Well, actually, I want to ask you, um, which Catherine's calling these alternative facts. Which part? I want to know which. Oh, that's the scientific claims are alternative facts. I feel that.
Hmm.
So tell me, man, what do you think is causing the spikes in misinformation? What's different about 2022 versus 2000?
I mean, I think there's a lot, especially when it comes to because it was 2000, the year 2000.
Mm,
I mean, there's been a lot that's happened in two, 2 decades essentially.
mm,
Um, because I mean, you have the age of social media. Information is far more available to users than it has ever been, especially in the 2000s. Right? It was just infant stages of the internet, and then also I think there's so much buzz around different scientific studies that people are just like clamoring for, at least my opinion is that people are just clamoring for more and more like published studies to come out or whatever like that, and for more and more people just to read that cool headline, right? More news outlets looking for that really cool headline, like, you know, three in the recent studies stated that 3 in 5 people may experience a fright in their living room um in the next 10 days or something like that.
Whoa, a frightened, based on a true story, by the way, in case
Yeah.
you're listening.
um so I think there's a lot of news outlets that are just super gung-ho about like jumping into that process, and I think the studies are kind of following into those same footsteps where they're publishing more info out before it's like fully vetted and stuff, because it's a lot of recanting their statements or something similar to that. So
Yeah, no, I feel that, man. Well, according to this study, two main factors contribute to this spike: volunteers who scrutinize academic literature for inconsistencies,
mm,
which I guess was not happening back then in 2000, and the realization by publishers that their models are vulnerable to paper mills that sell entire research materials. So paper mills was in quotes, um, but yeah, those research materials could go out. So let's look at this in a different scope, right?
mm,
Like red wine, bad for you. Red wine, good for you. Red wine, bad for you, right? This could be a
mm,
why. They didn't have as much oversight back then as they do now. So now there's more concern, kind of like what you were saying,
mm,
and more oversight now, too, which would lead to more issues being found. So it makes you wonder, what have we learned or thought we learned from decades old research? I believe those issues would probably have come to light because usually those are public issues, public research that can be studied and looked over, you know.
mm,
Um, but I find that really interesting. Um, Catherine says conjecture and opinion have been allowed to be held at the same time, at the same level as scientific results that can be repeated by scientific method. Um, that's true. It depends on the theory,
mm,
right? Certain
mm,
theories get more publicity than others, like the theory of relativity, right? We basically take the theory of gravity. It's a theory, right? But I think we all experience it every day, you know.
mm,
So yeah, those type of things. But then other things, yeah, you have to have proven and are able to prove, right? You can't prove or disprove gravity with at least what they had when the theory was first devised, if you will.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
and then, or sorry, go ahead.
but yeah, according to this, gravity is both a theory and a law. The law of gravity calculates the amount of attraction, while the theory describes why objects attract each other in the first place. So
Mm,
that's really interesting. It's both, you know.
mm. That is interesting. It's just the different sides in which you're looking at it.
Hmm.
Um, One is like, I guess the factoid portion of it is more like this is exactly what we can observe, and then the rest of it is more along the lines of based on what we have observed, this is our opinion or thought process of how and why things do what they do or whatever like that when it comes to gravity. So that is a really cool way to think about it. Um, One that I haven't really thought of.
Sure. Yeah, I find that all interesting. So this is scientific fraud, which is what I was leaning into on this.
Mhm.
Scientific fraud isn't just a professional issue; it can endanger lives, as seen in the case of Joachim Boldt. His misleading results on a blood substitute had fatal consequences. A blood substitute, bro. This dude was trying to be like, "Ah, oh, you need blood? Don't have it, but try Try this peanut butter instead.
Yeah, you'll be
Uh,
good. You'll be right as rain.
yeah, right, his brain. So, um, this is a German anesthesiologist who, uh, he has 186 retractions and is the highest. He has the most retractions of anyone.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
yeah. So he studied a blood substitute that was used in hospitals across Europe. His results, which were published around 1990 and 2009 and widely cited, suggested that the product used to help keep blood pressure and the delivery of oxygen to cells adequate was saving lives. After his fraud came to light and researchers reanalyzed all the available data while leaving Boldt's results out, it turned out the opposite was true. The substitute was associated with a significant increased risk, of mortality and acute kidney injury.
Oh
Um,
wow.
that's insane, man.
That is.
Um,
That is. Well, in this really kind of talks more about the the need for peer review, right? Because
which is
not
supposed to be part of the scientific method, by the way.
it is, but I think everybody gets so gung ho about like their results that they kind of skip that portion. Um, but I think it's so important that the peer review stage of these studies gets like properly pursued, because you get like moments where you're having to retract your statement because after peer review they've seen this, the flaws in their experiment, or the flaws in how they were researching things, or if there was biased or anything like that. um it shows up there usually, right? And kind of like pardon me, kind of like the fact that more people are able to access these studies than they were before. um, there's a higher percentage of plenty of researchers being able to jump in, from across the world, to be able to
Yeah.
jump in on these studies and look at them and scrutinize them and review them and say like, ah, nah, this isn't working. um you know
And
you
do it in
didn't
a
do
quick
this
amount of time, too.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Hmm. Yeah, there's a scene in Oppenheimer where he waits, or, well, he has to go to Princeton to talk to Albert Einstein to ask him what he thinks about, his findings and results to nuclear fusion, right?
Or fission.
Dang it, I always do that. But
No worries.
but yeah, that's what makes it different. That's also what makes it surprising to me that they are so much higher. This should be easier than ever to oversee this kind of stuff. You know,
Yeah. Yeah,
uh,
you would think. But I mean, there's tons of people who are doing research, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's true. It could just be a flat line because they're all able to be more busy with their studies.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. We live in an age where it's so much easier because of technology to bring more people in to do different types of studies and stuff like that. Think about it. If you need to research something that, at least for the most part, you just needed people's verbal communication, you can easily do that just via like Teams or Zoom,
Right.
which never before was really an easy way to do it. I mean, sure, you can get on the phone and call someone, but it's not going to be the same as doing like a Zoom call or a Teams call, because you have that, face to face interaction going.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. And to the point you're making too. This is interesting to me. Publishers and journals have been criticized for slow responses, with some retractions delayed for years. Universities often investigate allegations internally, which might not ensure unbiased results, of course.
Hmm.
Um, I get that, but yeah, it seems like there's a reluctancy maybe even among the scientific community, you know, of not wanting to rat people out for being wrong, or just being too self-focused on their own works, you know. um
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting, man. um
Yeah, it is. It is. It kind of I know we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but it's kind of like the a great example of this, I feel like, is there's a there was an article that came out about a week ago or so, about a team of researchers that had found a material that is able to be a superconductor, um, with at room temperature. And so, why this is so significant is because superconductors, for them to be able to do their really, really cool properties of like levitation and some other, and like superposition or whatever like that, there's a
mhm.
couple other things that they can do. But essentially, the only way for that to happen is for them to be incredibly like cooled to a high amount, right? To a huge degree. Um, and that takes a lot of energy and a lot of time and a lot of effort, um, to get it cooled down like that. And then even past that point, you can't really do as much with it as it kind of as it starts to thaw. So, um, anyway, with all that to being said, with all that being said, if it was found out later on this week that, or earlier this week, I should say,
Mm.
um, it was found that that study was incorrect.
Oh wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big deal, man, especially with that being a blossoming technology, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One that could revolutionize how we do a lot of things, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. You know, it's just one of those things where truth is hard to find. I'm not saying that's anything new. um but you know, there's just more outlets, more content always being fed your way, you know. I think it's just I don't know. This is how I approach this kind of stuff, right? Because this is an
Mm-hmm.
obvious problem, right? You know, if you get one of those alerts says like, "Hey, someone just blah blah blah, this and that," right? I feel like you gotta take it for your word, but on certain things, uh, you know, it's easy to question. Like take the Alzheimer's drug for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. It's based off of other drugs, and they've had a lot of studies with a lot of efficacy. And I think like medication's different because they have to go through so many control groups, and there's a whole FDA, a lot of oversight. But with certain other things, like you know, an apple a day may not actually be the best thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
Man, if it works for you, it's like I don't know, man. You know what I mean? What's
Yeah.
an apple
No.
gonna do to you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get that.
So anyway, I don't know. This is just my thoughts, man. Do you have any other thoughts you want to add?
Um, I think it just kind of feeds into something that I think we've continuously touched on over this time. Is that not everything that you see, article wise or scientific study wise, can always be like instantly proven, or not proven, but instantly trusted, right?
Sure.
um, you always want to do your own due diligence, and if you don't feel comfortable with what you find, or feel like you're not able to get as far in it as you would like, um, I always try to tell people to maybe not say that that's exactly what's going on right then and there. Sometimes it does really require that due diligence of like researching whatever that topic is, and then comparing and contrasting to what these articles are saying or what these studies are saying, and then you can kind of form your own opinion.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. I completely agree with that. And I mean, it just also depends on the subject, but I think a lot of those things, I really think that's worth your while,
Mm-hmm.
doing your own research. So, yeah, great discussion. I think we had a
Mm-hmm.
great discussion on this late night podcast. Thank you guys for joining us, for the comments, for the viewers,
Mm-hmm.
for listening and watching with us. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and we'll catch up with you next week.